In our last video, we ended as our file was saving. So let's double check and make sure that this action worked okay. I'm going to open up that recent file. Here we go. Photoshop is going to open it up, and we should have our layers. Everything should be good. But let's double check here, because it looked like it worked last time. So the issue, yeah, okay. So here's an issue. So the issue seems to be with this. Oh, okay. So here's the issue right here. So this is why this is what's happening. So right here, it seems like, oh, this is not saving this file right here. It's because the save in the action actually has it going to our previous shoot, the one another tutorial that we did on the channel with Elise out there. So it's actually saving it here, which if we were to open this up and go in there, 08, 07, and it's actually saving it right here. So this is going to be our modified file. So that's why it looks like it's not working, which really it is working. It's just not saving it where we thought it would. We want it to save basically over that same file. Let's double check and make sure that this is actually this same picture just with our layers. Okay, yep. So it looks like this is that file. So what we'll do, I'm going to take this file here just to double check. This is the right one. 4076. That was it, right? 4076. Yes. So let's take this. I don't like deleting things until we get everything fixed. So let's say this will remind me to delete it later on, because this is in a completely different project, and that's not really what we're working on today. So I'll come back and circle back to that once we get everything done. Oh, it won't let me even rename it. Okay, I'll make a note. I'll come back and close that out. It's a completely different project. But what we need to do for this project is to fix that action, right? So let's open this up. We need to fix that action inside of Photoshop so it saves in the right project. And then while we're at it, we can probably go ahead and create that droplet too. So let's open up this file here. There we go. All right. So what we'll do is we'll just delete the save and the close. So now we should be able to run through this entire thing, and then it won't close it, so we can then record our save and close at the end. So this might seem kind of repetitive that we're walking through the same thing again, but once we get this set up on this one image and fixed for this one set, we can run it through all of them and then basically walk away and let our computer do some of our editing for us. So it's definitely worth the time to get this to work in my mind, because even we are adding very minimal things, but I do a lot of minimal edits continuously, or a bunch of minimal edits in order to change the overall image, rather than a lot of big editing for portrait shots like this, right? Because we're not doing like a surreal composite, something like that, which would require a lot more significant edits. We try to get most of it in frame, in camera, and then just try to get 90% in camera, and then the last 10% of polish. So a lot of little minimal updates to it. Okay, so Luminar should run through its thing, which, if you remember, we just did a very, very slight enhancement on skin and eyes, super minimal. Okay. It opened Luminar fine. It's filtering, running that filter. And then once that's done, it'll continue with the rest of the action, clean it up, give us all of our layers, and then it's done. Okay, so it did not save it, and it did not close it. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to come to the very end. This is select the channel, the mask channel of the skin heal layer, which is this here, which is where it ended. So now we can hit record, and then save, file save, and none, save. Okay, go ahead, hit OK. It'll save that. You can see it's been added to our action. Once this is done saving, then we can actually close the file while we're still recording. That is going to change our interface, so we're going to have to open it up yet again to get this back. But we'll get it. Here we go, 94, 95, hopefully here soon. This is just the process of sitting and waiting for this to finish recording. But basically the next step is we're going to add the close step. There is a step inside of Photoshop that lets you save and close. I've found that to be kind of buggy sometimes in that, well, maybe not buggy is the right word, but it just seems that it doesn't work as well as if you actually add it into the action itself. And so that's why I've always gone this route. Maybe they've updated that in later versions of Photoshop to fix it. Honestly, it's been many, many years since I've tried it because this has been reliable. And so what works. And as you can see, even just some of this other process goes back and forth to fixing things. So and by I realized that we had to update the save part of our action there. So I might think, oh, that didn't work. Well, what I mean by not working inside of the action when we create it itself, sometimes it just doesn't even save anything. Like it just stays open, the same as if we didn't have anything in there anyway. Okay, so save is done. Now we can close out of this. And now I'm just going to open this right back up. And then because our action is actually still recording. So once this file loads back up, I'll pause the video while this loads so we can see, so you don't have to wait for all this again since we just waited for it to save. So I'll pause this, and as soon as the file opens back up, I'll come right back. Okay, so the file's open. You can see it added in close, and then it also added in open because we open up the file again. I don't want that. I'm going to delete that. This closes. It doesn't have it. It should not. This should be universal now, so it should work for in the future as well, but I guess we'll find out. It'll work for at least this shot or this set because we're all saving in the same place. Now the next step is let's recreate that droplet here. So I'm going to come in here, automate, create droplet, and that's not where I want to save it. I'm going to put this actually in the project file, so if you want to play with it, you're more than welcome to. Actions, choose. And of course, on your end, really, it probably won't work as well because I do have some of my own actions in here. If we dial down, I'll go ahead and hit OK on this, and then it'll update that. But we can see it's actually playing. So my dodge burn set of actions, which is this right here. If you want me to export all those, I can. Some of these I've created in other tutorials, like my frequency separation is in my Photoshop masterclass. Talk about all that. And so I just I'm not going through the process of creating or explaining all of that in this tutorial because that's not really the purpose of this one. But I do have my Photoshop masterclass that talks about frequency separation and all that. All right, so this image should be done and ready to go. But what we can do is let's double check on capture one. So 21 minutes. So really what we should be able to do now is take this. You can see this file sizes update. We should be able to take any of these TIFFs and run it through this action and have it be automated. So This has 20 minutes left. Tell you what, let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and in the next video, I'm going to run 2 images through this action and we'll just sit through it and wait for it. You can tell it'll probably take a little while. So if you want to skip that, feel free to skip that next video. That's one of the reasons why I do these shorter videos, so you can skip them as you need to and kind of chapter points almost. But if you do want to watch that testing process, because if it works on 2 images, then it'll work on the rest of the TIFF files once they're all generated. So I will do that in the next video, and I'll see you there. Or if not, then I'll see you in the video after that.